So guys, in this part we are going to work on our wall sensor. So for wall sensor we are going to make empty object. There I'm going to call it wall sensor and call wall sensor top. So now I'm going to attach secret collider 2D on that. So you just need to write C and you can see the secret collider. Now I'm going to make it trigger, and also I want to attach the sensor script to it as well. Then I want to reduce the radius, so I'm going to make it 2, but then going to bring it in the top of our player. So we need to make it so when the player is there, we want to this sensor become a little bit far. So still it's a little bit big. I'm going to make it 1. So now I need to duplicate it and bring it also down as well. There. Just Control D to duplicate it and drag it down from the green arrow. So now here we name it sensor down. But now we have a small problem when we are going to flip, because we are going to flip the a sprite and not flip the player, so we are not going to change the direction of our sensor. So you can see when I'm going to the right, it's still that wall sensor is inside of the left side. So we can make another 2 sensor and do it, but it's a little bit of extra work, and so it's better that we are going to change the direction of the player, not from the sprite. So we not from this sprite, because right now we are going to do it from the flipping from the sprite, but now we are going to do it from the scaler. So that means we are going to make the x to be -1 and 1, -1 and 1. So to do it, so we need to go to inside of our player controller script again. Downside, we are going to make a new function, public void flip, or we can make it private. Now we need a bool function before we are going to write it. So here under the blocking, I'm going to make private bool facing left. So now let's go down. Here facing left. Each time that we are going to call this flip, we want to make the opposite direction of our flipping, our facing direction. So now not facing direction, it's face left. Facing left is equal to opposite of facing left. That means each time we call this function, we are going automatically going to make that bool to negative and positive, so true and false. Now we need to get access to our scale. So for that, I'm going to use the vector tree and pass that information to scale is equal to transform dot local scale. So now under that, we say scale dot x is equal to whatever is our scale, just do it at -1. So that means it's becoming minus positive, because it's we need also add multiply here as well. So without this multiply, then you are not going to turn the player. This is just a mathematic. And then here transform dot local scale is equal to our scale. Then after that, we are going to say, okay, the local scale of the player is this scale. So now let's go up. Here, when we are going to, we don't need this part, so we can make it comment. Here also as a comment. Instead, we are going to flip it. So flip, call that function. Here also flip. Now, there we need to say if we are not facing left, actually we can just remove that, facing left, then we are going to flip. Here we need to do it opposite. Then we are not. So we are facing left, then we are going to opposite it, and then we are not facing left, so we are facing right, then we are going to flip it again. So now save it and let's check it. Here, as you see, now you are flipping, but in the wrong direction. So you see, when I push the right button, so we are not doing that in correct way. So we need to change that so that it's going to work again. So let's go back to player controller. Here I need to make it negative. Here to make it positive. So now, as you see, when I'm going to turn around, we are going to the left, to the right, left, right. And as you see that this small circle here also going to turn to other side. And now when I'm going to debug mode, here as you see, we are facing left. When I'm going to that become so toward the other side, left and right. But because right now it doesn't really match with what we want to do, so actually I'm going to check if we are going to make it minus at the beginning. So become an opposite. We can do it, or I'm going instead inside of our script. Instead of facing left, I'm going to change it with Control R to facing right. So then our variable is matched with our actions. So save it and be sure that you use the Control plus R plus R. So then you can change it in the whole script. So as you see here, I change it here. Here is also changed and changed here as well. So you can use the Control R to change any script that you want inside of your script and also in the other script as well. So now debug. As you see, facing right is true and facing left, now facing right is false. And facing face direction also is work fine. So here when I'm going to use shift or attack or jump or so block N or M, everything's work fine. So that is how we can change the direction. And also now that we create this sensor, we can so flip our sensor as well. Then it will be easier to make to work on our wall sensor, and we can have an animation when we are going to attach with the walls. So see you now the next video.